Hello, my name is Sadie Nitta. I'm a current master's in TESOL candidate and graduate assistant at HPU, as well as former adjunct faculty member at BYUH. For today's presentation, I'll provide a brief overview of my practicum experience, which involved a series of sustainable projects. And due to time constraints, some slides may require skipping. Nevertheless, they will be thoroughly addressed in the Q&A session. For reference, this is an outline for today's video, starting with the internship site. BYUH is located in Hawai'i. It is a private school that offers low-cost educational opportunities for over 3,000 students, 70% of whom speak English as an additional language from over 70 countries. The school provides a 4-level academic English language support program, also known as the EIL program, for its international students. To learn more information, you're welcome to visit the school's homepage at byuh.edu. Now, for my practicum experience, I was invited to teach core EIL classes as well as contribute to 3 sustainable projects. These projects included 1, the creation of an English for academic purposes learner corpus, 2, help implementing a peer mentoring assistance program, and 3, developing localized materials for enhancing students' environmental consciousness. For the first project, under the direction of President Brent Green, whose expertise is in corpus linguistics, and with the help of the computer science department, I received training in corpus construction and corpus query. For those unfamiliar with learner corpora, a learner corpus is an electronic collection of natural text produced by second language learners in a specific context. So for my contribution to this project, my focus was primarily on the writings produced by students enrolled in the EIL program until they graduate. And there's 2 major stages to this. First, the creation of the corpus, which involves collecting data and converting and organizing the data into machine-readable text. And 2, corpus use. So what tools did we use to analyze the language in context? How did it impact our curriculum development? And what ideas did it give us for future development? So for example, in the creation process, the very first step is to gain student consent. All first semester students in their first week of classes would be presented with this consent form. And for those that check yes and give their consent, we have access to all the writings they produce in the EIL program up until they graduate. For those that gave their consent, at the end of each semester, we download all of their writings from Canvas, specifically their drafts of 5 basic writing structures, and then convert all those files into plain text. In summary, we have over 35 first languages represented in our current learner corpus, and this only again represents the students that gave their consent. And here is a screenshot of the corpus software we use to analyze the language use. And this in turn helps improve our curriculum development as well as address in class the most common learner errors for specific students or perhaps groups of students. For the second project, which was help implementing a peer mentoring assistance program, this project was headed by Professors Amanda Wallace and Marianne Mapu, who are also heads of the EIL tutoring department, which has been in place for many years. So this peer mentoring project came out of a need for our first semester students to have emotional, social, and academic support to adjust to university living. Some cool things about this project is that it has student-fronted leadership and is operated with faculty oversight. The current staff, we're very proud to have 90% international, 10% domestic. So it allows our students to, choose from a wide group and a diverse group of mentors and then work closely with them for their first semester. And the peer mentors do receive training from counseling services that have a more broad general peer mentoring program in place already. And in turn, they also help us develop mentor logs that our students work on with their mentors to help scaffold conversations and build that rapport. Here's a screenshot of counseling services and then an example mentor log. For the third project, which was developing materials that were specifically localized and that enhanced students' environmental consciousness, this was a major focus for our advanced level courses. So we recently reconstructed our highest, most advanced level course to have a focus or theme of sustainability. There are 3 units in that course and 3 major writing structures that students are expected to produce successfully. And so for those 3 units, these are the topics that we did. We had sustainable energy, where they wrote a process paragraph about how it works and how it's been used in Hawai'i. And then unit 2 was sustainable water use, where they would learn about different solutions that other school campuses have used to improve their water usage and water conservation efforts, and then evaluate those solutions and present the best one. for BYUH. And then the third one is sustainable tourism in Hawaii. So they analyzed and looked at different topics of debate surrounding tourism, the different points of view, and they wrote a research report. In turn, they also had some survey experience with this as well. So this allowed students to interact with the 17 SDGs throughout the course to help also develop their language skills. And also it allowed them to interact with other departments such as natural sciences, which really helped them gain both hands-on experience inside and outside the classroom. It made their learning a lot more meaningful. And we also gave them a very specific context for their writing so that they were more motivated. There was potential for publishing in the Kealake'i, contributing to the Kumuwaiwai Center, or also publishing for Intersections, a brand new undergraduate research journal for campus. And I forgot to mention that this was under the guidance of Director Nancy Tadafiti. She was overseeing a lot of these changes that were being made, so she was a major contributor and my guide. An evaluation of this experience, there's a lot to say. There's many strengths and weaknesses, but I think one of the major strengths is that I learned about sustainable models and practices that can really support second language learners, specifically the students, the teachers, and the programs. One major weakness, however, was time constraints. There was major changes happening and just not enough time to make all the changes we wanted to. And then as for integration, two curricula that directly support sustainable models are task-based language teaching and project-based language teaching, both of which promote agency and reflect real-world processes. Lastly, the gains from this practicum experience, I have greater confidence in my ability to promote sustainable practices, also to contextualize language learning, address the social and educational and emotional well-being of my students, and lastly, empower them to take advantage and take ownership of the language. Thank you so much.